So I graduated from a high school with about 400 students. That was an atmosphere of its own. So I decided to go to a place that was a little bit bigger but still pretty comfortable, and so I chose Fairmont State, which only has about 4,000 students.
As a first generation college student, some of the families, they think they know that the future is in STEM, they know the future is in like these kind of fields of education. Some of the students might have this kind of encouragement from the family, but their family might not know exactly how to help them whenever they're struggling.
The First2 network got started in 2016. All of us shared a vision to improve the success rate of students who are already interested in STEM fields.
Well, you hear the term STEM all the time. It stands for science, technology, engineering, and math. There is an estimated 20,000 jobs that will go unfilled in West Virginia in the next 20 years unless we can meet the workforce needs of the future.
We are seeing more and more job opportunities in the STEM areas. That there's a demand out there that we're not filling. And so we at State and the other institutions in West Virginia are committed to do our part.
The First2 network is a diverse set of stakeholders across education, higher ed, K-12, industry, and community partnerships, committed to supporting and retaining first-generation students in their first 2 years of STEM study. We're going to do that through listening carefully to those students themselves. We're not going to solve the problem for these students, we're going to solve the problem with these students.
What's important for institutions to know now, and as the university president, it's important to understand that for many of our first-generation college students, they will have difficulty and challenges navigating this uncharted world. What does this thing called higher ed mean? What are the expectations of me? How am I going to perform? It can be a very isolating place.
I did fine the first semester because I was very well prepared academically, but the transition was a little bit bumpy. Spring semester came and I didn't have the study skills or the time management skills that I thought I did, and I wasn't able to cope very well. Ultimately, I nearly failed out of college, but the First2 network helped me find the resources that I needed to get the loans that I needed to take extra summer classes, be able to pay for it, thrive, and still come back in the fall.
The general navigation of college, like through financial aid, scheduling classes, how to pick my major, how do I find out what I really want to do, so how do I work with an advisor, how do I even go talk to somebody like that when I don't really know what I'm doing myself. So those are definitely some of the major challenges, especially coming from a high school with maybe 350 kids. Coming to university a little bit bigger than that was a little bit tough.
I've always been very big on connecting young people early on, looking at their holistic development and engaging them from a standpoint that they understand they don't have to go at it alone.
Some of the things that we have learned in the earlier pilot project is that mentorship from older students and from faculty is really important with keeping kids on the path to graduation and to feeling comfortable in the college atmosphere.
So First2 Network is completing their main mission of listening to the student voice and understanding what their struggles and issues are. So based on those information that they get from the students, then we kind of think about how can we change what we have in order to help the students to be more successful.
The philosophical frame that everyone who works as part of First2 is adopting is to listen to students first.
We made it our pact. Students speak first, no matter what situation that we're in. We have working groups that are kind of devoted to different aspects of obstacles to success, and all of our working groups have students in them.
But more importantly, we're building student agency from an institutional perspective.
I think listening to student voices is nothing new to higher education. I think what is new is that higher education is now starting to understand that they need to be more agile than what they have traditionally been. And one of the key ways to do that is really listening to where students are. Each generation requires us to move that needle further and further.
Some of the things that we're doing with the First2 network is getting students involved in early research experiences.
Those students have higher grade point averages, higher persistence, higher retention, and higher graduation rates.
First2 is also becoming a bridge for the students to get in touch with all these organizations. For example, there are lots of internships for chemistry, for researchers in different fields of biology or even computer science or mathematics. One of the problems that we have right now is that a lot of students go to colleges within the state, but they get their education and then they leave the state.
So the flipping of the script in this case is building capacity for student agency on both of those levels.
So in 2018, we received a major award from the National Science Foundation. We're bringing in more colleges and universities now. We are reaching out to industry partners for the first time and trying to identify new partners that might want to join with us to build a network with lots of individuals willing to work together and increase participation in STEM in our state.
The Includes call for the National Science Foundation is one of the National Science Foundation's new big ideas. And the National Science Foundation is coming forward to the country and saying, we recognize that we have this intractable problem of not enough diversity in our STEM workforce.
Definitely hope to see the internship experience grow. I think that's really what gets people attached to a field. Definitely the industry partnerships, so hopefully not only West Virginia but surrounding states and the nation start to take notice in this project. And if this project could become national and help people beyond the state, that would be just awesome, flattering, amazing.
So the National Science Foundation invited folks to do work differently. West Virginia is the only state that got initial alliance funding to do this work across and inside one state, with invitation and mandate to share once we learn how to do it well.
Now I can see there's going to be multiple internships this summer. There's multiple industry partners, even more students getting affected, and that's just everything that I could hope for in this pilot program getting amplified and maximized.
In the future, there's going to be a lot more STEM-related opportunities for all the students.
I think it's a real opportunity for us to do some good in the state.
They're very fundamentally oriented in keeping our students saying you don't have to transfer out of state. The state is good enough for you. You just have to see everything that's available.
I think once we continue to move in that direction, we can take our portfolio and say, listen, this is what you all helped us do. These are the lives that you've helped change. This is the research that you've helped us develop. This is what we've been able to do with that research. And because of their partnership, I couldn't think of anything better.
And I can't overstate how important that is for all of these institutions. It gives them incentive that they've never had before, time they've never had before, resources they've never had before, to learn from one another's best practice. It acknowledges that there already is really excellent work going on here in these hills, and that we can all get infinitely better through learning from the best practices of one another, and doing so inside an environment where we're forced to look carefully at what does work and also what doesn't.
You just made the hair on.
There's better. All right. We're getting warmed up.